I'm here to review about my new acquisition, which is the Renault Duster CVT petrol. The reviewers online have got it spot on for most of the factors, and I'm here only to give you a finer point review of some of the things that I found interesting that drivers should know while handling this vehicle. Now, reviewers have been very accurate in saying that turbocharged petrol is a great addition, has been a welcome, has given new life to this chassis, and they have maintained the Renault Duster's famed road handling and suspension, and the lackluster interior or the dated interior and the lack of features in comparison to the competition is also very accurately captured by most reviewers who have submitted their review online. So what I have to add on to that, all those review points, is the performance of the engine, and how it varies with load. Now, while driving, after buying the car, we just drove it around the city in Bangalore, just the three of us. So it should be anything somewhere in the ballpark of 140 kilogram load, just the three of us, me, my wife and my kid put together, maybe something in the range of 140 kilo, right? In that load range, irrespective whether you are turbo or you are in turbo range or not in turbo range, you get a very linear acceleration. I got a very linear acceleration, right? And once you hit turbo, there is no coming, there's no stopping you. You just zoom and zoom and zoom. And so that's that. What I found, on the other hand, is that the braking power, especially at the turbo range, is slightly lacking. That is because it does not have all four wheels as disc brake. It has two drum brakes and two disc brakes. So this braking power does not really match the turbo power of the turbocharged engine. So you will have to calculate and be careful about pushing your vehicle faster, especially on the turbo range. Should you require to brake it fast should something come in front of you. So that's some calculation that you have to have in your mind, and that calculation will come with experience of the vehicle. Now that's that. The second thing is, once you load up the vehicle to a certain range, maybe throw in 100 kilograms of luggage, right? Fill up your trunk, something like that, as we did on our first trip. That stage, you will find that the initial acceleration is slightly lacking. Once you hit turbo, it's all the same. Once you hit turbo, that's it. The SUV will just take off. And I especially enjoyed the ride starting from Hunsur towards Madikeri. That's Gonikoppa. So I'll just tell you a brief about what our first long journey was. First long journey was from Bangalore via Mandya, bypassed Mysore, hitting Hunsur back, and then to Gonikoppa, Makuta, Kutubara, Iriti, Matanur, and then Panur. Right, this is the route that we took. So the part I enjoyed the most is the stretch after Hunsur towards Gonikoppa. The rolling hills, the Coorg, the famed Coorg Madikeri stretch, which is the Switzerland of the southern India, right? And those rolling hills and Duster were just made for each other. Whether you're climbing, whether you're going up or you're going down, no matter how steep the upward gradient is or how long the gradient is, the Duster just keeps pulling, and it doesn't bother the load, the extra weight in the trunk. No problem. As long as you're in the somewhere in the ballpark of 1600 RPM, that's either just on turbo or above turbo. You're just pulling and pulling and pulling and overtaking every bugger who is just slow or even speeding on the hill, on the uphill. On the uphill, this is an amazing car to be in. You can overtake a whole bunch of other guys. Even with I imagine 4 passengers and a full trunk. We just had 3 passengers, but still, I don't think one more passenger would have made any difference. Just amazing. And all through this journey, as well as our short trips inside the city, it just did handle all the potholes, just the way all the reviewers had said. So these things, two things, the reviewers got it bang on. The only slight addition, or I would give is, one is the braking power, and the other is the ones loaded. You will find uh, pushing yourself into gap to gap traffic and bumper to bumper traffic slightly challenging, because the low range RPMs are slightly challenging to get going once you have loaded up your SUV, your Duster. That's one. The other is, especially while uh, driving the night, I have found that the absence of the cornering lamp, the corner lamps, is slight of a handicap, because considering the tall stands of the vehicle, you want to know what's around the corner while you're taking a bend, you're taking a curve or a bend. So absence of that, which was even present in the older version of Creta and stuff like that, absence of it, the same on Duster in 2020, is slightly pinching. It's a pinch. So and this car, as before, it should definitely have been all four wheels disc brake. That's also unpardonable sin. Plus, the other thing that is missing is an auto dim, simple thing as an auto dimming rearview mirror, 60/40 splits for the rear seat, maybe an extra charging point, a whole bunch of misses. Yeah, if I had more room to say complain, then I could say a better dashboard and a console and an infotainment console that is much more to the eye level, so that their driver does not have to drop his sight downwards. But all those are small misses. I don't mind, considering how good this chassis handles both acceleration and braking, and the suspension handles the potholes, plus the great turbocharged engine that is there. So at this price point, I did not mind the lack of features and the dated interiors. But the interiors are dated, and the features are lacking. There are many features that are lacking in comparison to the competition. Apart from the few things that we have, the reviewers online have captured in their reviews. One of the things that I like, the reviewers usually caution that this is something people won't like, but the thing that I liked, and which is may not be found in other SUVs, is the live feedback that you get on your steering. Means you're taking a curve, or going on rough patches, you can feel it on your hand on the steering, right? There's a steering feedback. I specifically noticed it only after watching one of the reviews, but since I noticed it, I'm enjoying it. I don't know what, I think it's driver specific. Some people don't like it, some people are annoyed by it. That's what the reviewers say, but I just like it. I just love it. Why? Whether you're going around a corner or whether you're going a rough road, you can really see, you can feel the tires, the stress on the tire on your hand. I just love it. That's one point I'm really liking it. I'm not I would complain about the lack of braking, but this is something which I really like. Uh, that's absolutely great. And the other thing is, if there is an option to go in the manual mode, that is, you can just push the gear lever towards the left, and then from then on you can manually upshift or downshift um the gears. I think that will provide you much better control of uh, your movement, considering the load and the safety and everything, because that's something that you can individually and manually evaluate, and then, considering the road condition, push yourself harder, uh, or whichever way you want to go, right? So I have not yet mastered that mode, but I think mastering that mode of manual control of the gears will give me a much better uh, driving satisfaction. uh, I should be on that, so that's something for me to learn right now. Apart from that, uh, driving wise, as long as I can convince my wife to be loading the trunk with less stuff, I think I'm going to enjoy this. I'm really going to enjoy this, right? And this was the driver is seated 205 millimeters above the ground. The ground clearance is 205, So you are seated on top of that, so you have having a good view of bird's eye view of the road, and you have having great suspension below you, and you have a great engine to pull you. So interiors, I don't think it matters now. It might matter later, but that we'll see on a later day. Thank you. Climbing up these guards, it's a very nice experience because of the power of the engine. But at the same time, climbing down these guards while we were coming towards Kerala, while coming on the onward journey, it was slightly difficult because of the slight deficiency in the braking power. So it is like a beast coming down the mountain, and us, the driver, trying very hard to control the reins. But going up is very pleasant because of the very good power in the engines, and effortlessly climbs all these steep slopes back and forth around the hairpins. So this is a very pleasant experience going up. Coming down, not that unpleasant, but have to be careful at that, considering the very good engine power, the good weight of the vehicle, and as you know, not the best of braking this kind of a weight category and engine category should deserve. If all four wheels were given disc brakes, it would have been a much better ride downwards. But the upward drive is a very, very pleasant thing, and pleasant drive, and it's an effortless drive, and it pulls effortlessly, even though this car right now is almost packed with luggage and 2 passengers and a kid, and still the drive is very pleasant. The upward pull is very, very linear and pretty exciting to drive.